everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Your Manchester with me, Ms. Belinda Scandal.
And me, Mr. Mark Llewellyn.
Hey, I cannot fully believe it, everybody. It's the first show already of November.
I know. Hasn't the year gone fast?
It's flown, hasn't it? Did you do anything special for Halloween?
Well, do you know, I parked the car up the road.
Right.
So I could pretend I wasn't in. And then
You did this?
And then I ate my microwave dinner only by the light from the microwave. And then I went to the theatre. Yes.
What did you go watch?
I watched a thing called Doing the Magic with Our Ashley from Corrie.
Is he still doing theatre and
lots
stuff?
of theatre.
Last time I saw him, he was in the press doing butchering.
Yes, he does a bit of butchering on the side.
Hey, life imitating art, isn't it?
Well, absolutely. So I went to see that. Did you do anything for Halloween? Were you working?
I was working. What was I doing Halloween? Halloween I was working at Their.
Oh, yes.
Their. I love Halloween. It's the only time in the year where I actually change my show.
Yes, we were. I spoke to you, I think, in the day you were about to learn a new song.
I was learning Ghostbusters because I can never remember the second verse. There's two songs that I can never ever learn that never ever, for some reason, stay in my brain. There is Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Never understand that. It just won't stay in my head. It's a line about an invisible man, something like that.
Okay.
I can't get it into my head. And there's the third verse of All I Want for Christmas.
Yes.
Which I'll have to bring out again now.
Which one do you do? The conventional, or do you do the Dora Bryan?
No, definitely not the Dora Bryan version, no. And it's not the Mariah Carey version either. It's the I can't tell you which version. Do you know what's been really funny this week?
What?
I have to say, you know how people tend to follow in my footsteps and be inspired by me. Somebody's got hold of my lovely disco medley.
Oh.
Right. And they're doing it within their show.
Right.
And they think that they've acquired it safely and legally.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
What they fail to realise is the backing vocals on there is me.
Oh.
So I reckon by the end of this week I can claim some money back, don't you reckon?
You can, yes, yes.
It's my backing track,
yeah.
Isn't it? I mean, it's not my arrangement, but it's my voice on it.
Absolutely. And you're due money.
Am I?
Yes.
That's exciting, isn't it?
Yes. You could pick it the venue.
Bonfire night, speaking of which.
Bonfire night, yes. So that was last night, wasn't it?
How was it for you? There's not many firework displays anymore, is what there used to be.
There's not many firework displays, but there's an awful lot of fireworks going off.
Don't they start earlier and earlier?
Oh, do you know, it's banging from morning till night. And I bet your pussy's been a quiver this week with it all.
All over the shop, it's been.
Yes. My chinchilla's had a right week.
Really?
Oh, yes, hasn't put his tongue out all week. So, yes, do you like fireworks or what?
I like them. I like watching them.
Yes.
But like I say, at the moment, unless you're at an event, and because I live M1,
you do, that's right.
Very
yes.
tricky.
Is Strangeways M1 then?
Pardon?
Is Strangeways M1?
Yes, it is.
Right,
yes.
Okay.
Give
my love to the lads when you get to
I will.
Yes.
I will. It's a lovely wall. It's a very nicely walled garden. It really is. So I love it, and it's fascinating, and it's great fun. But they seem to be going on earlier and earlier.
Oh, they do.
And they're not as clever as what they used to be. And also, you've got them eco-warriors. Don't get me started on the eco-warriors who think confetti, because it dissolves in the air, that's better for you. I don't think it is.
And it's not good for the animals. And I think, I would only allow fireworks for proper displays. I wouldn't allow...
Well, they're trying to do this, aren't they? This is trying to be a thing, isn't it? That, we've now got to have opening and closing times for when we can have fireworks. The problem is, though, in my opinion, there's a lot of religions that need fireworks.
Yes, and of course it's been Diwali.
Diwali, which is the festival of light.
Yes,
well, how can you get better light than a firework? Yeah. That works well. And then you go straight into bonfire night, which... The world's just getting a little bit too serious, isn't it?
Well, I suppose so, but I mean, I don't think they do penny for the guy, right? Well, it wouldn't be penny, would it? It would be 20 quid now.
Oh, I know, yeah.
Well,
you'd have contactless.
They'd have
contactless.
machine, wouldn't they?
Yes.
They'd have the dojos out. And now that all that's gone, and we used to go to an organised firework display, the round table, or the whatever.
Yes.
And they were quite good, weren't they? You'd have your treacle toffee. See, to me, it's
treacle
all about
toffee
food,
and black peas. Black peas.
Yes, black
I need
peas.
to find the recipe for black peas, you know. It was lovely. It was like in a vinegar, wasn't it? Oh, it was proper. In a little scoopy thing. You wouldn't be allowed the polystyrene anymore either, would you?
No.
They banned that as well, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
The world's getting a bit crazy.
It is.
Don't you think?
It is.
I think it's getting a bit weird.
And then we've had the American election this week, and, I mean, what do you think about the result?
Well, it's been good, hasn't it? It's actually gone the way I wanted it to go. Really has. And that's as much as I can say on the matter. Because I can't go into too much detail about it.
Oh, really?
No, because honestly, I can't be seen to be like backing that particular person, can I?
No, any person, no.
No.
It's just nice to see they've sent their hair back.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes.
Well.
Yes, well.
There we are.
Once again, we've got a brilliant show lined up. Let me tell you, a brilliant show lined up for you. And can you give us a hint of what's coming up this week?
No, not really, no. I tell you what, I'm going to a bit of a psychic trance.
Go on, then.
You're going to be speaking to Escape to the Chateau's Dick and Angel Strawbridge about their new favourite Forever Home tour.
Will I?
Yes, you will.
Right, and yes.
Yes. And what else are we up to?
Well, I'll tell you. I will tell you, right? Now, listen, if that's not enough for you, ladies and gentlemen, we've also got an exciting chat with Gavin Robertson about his new Fortune Hunter parody. And it's called Is That a Whip in Your Hand?
It's called what?
Is That a Whip in Your Hand?
Oh, I thought that was your last tour. I was told that. You've been asked that many a time.
I have indeed. And finally, we'll be speaking with the lovely actor, poet and filmmaker Jessica Murrain about Wonder Boy, which is, of course, coming to the Salford Keys Lowry Theatre on the 12th. Lowry.
Yes.
Not that Lowry.
Not that.
Lowry. I actually spoke to them about it. And they think this works out perfectly because now everybody is actually speaking Northern again. And don't get me started on accents from the North disappearing slowly but surely, because that's going to wind me up as well. Anyway, it's only here for a 5-day stint.
Oh, then
all right.
catch it then.
12th of November. So make sure you catch it.
Yes, and here is how your show is. Isn't it another packed adventure?
Another packed adventure.
Yes.
Now, we're going to be joined by Escape to the Country's very own Dick and Angel Strawbridge, everybody.
Oh.
Strawbridge. Now, Dick and Angel are hitting the road after an international success with Escape to the Chateau and the brand new Channel 4 series Secret of France.
If it's secret, well, how can they tell people?
Pardon?
If it's secret, how can they put it on television? There's a flaw.
It's not that secret, is it? No. That's very true. They are back to inspire and entertain audiences with their Forever Home tour, which has been hopping across the country since the... do you like that? Hopping across the country since October this year. They're now heading to Manchester for their show on the 9th of November at the Bridgewater Hall. Let's hear all about their show and what it entails. Joining us now is Dick and Angel Strawbridge. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Really well, thank you.
Oh, all the better for chatting to you.
We are so looking forward to having you here at the Bridgewater Hall on the 9th of November. What is this experience going to be for us as audience?
Well, we start off by actually explaining how we got to be there, because if you think about it, it's a bit of an odd story. We're the odd couple, if you like, born decades apart, continents apart, but we live in a chateau in France. How did that happen? That's the first thing we talk about, how we fell in love. It's very soppy.
And we talk about our journey, how we actually found the chateau, what it takes to live in like our forever home. You know, what once we found the chateau, what it took to get in there. And I mean, the first half is very much sort of like we'll have a bit of a quiz with the audience. It's quite interactive. There's far too much heckling, but we love it. Partly from Arthur and Dorothy, who for the first time have been with us for the whole tour, which I mean, it's our 5th tour now, and I mean, it's unheard of, and they are absolutely loving it. And Arthur pretty much spends the first half testing his boundaries as an 11-year-old little boy, just to see exactly. He loves to heckle mum and dad.
Ill discipline.
But the second half is quite messy, because we've got a new project that we launched called Jack of All Trades, and we get the audience members on stage doing things that they probably have not done before.
Such as what? I've read this. You're going to involve them in this show.
Oh, well, we can't give too much away, but it's a mixture of DIY, crafting, and being arty, and just because of my background, there's also a bit of electricity, some electricity to play with. So it's all right. Health and safety executive are very happy. No problems.
Why did you start this journey? What made you decide that you were going to get into doing all this building and what seems to me like a lot of stress?
There's no stress.
No, there could be stress. But we decided a long time ago, because when we first met, I was living in Cornwall, Angela was up in London, and we didn't know where we were going to live. And we discovered over the first year that France seemed like a great place to find a home. And so that's what we stayed like. We ended up moving to France. The chateau was an idea that grew over the 4 years of
we do this actually, and I think anyone that's coming to see us that doesn't know the story will get a real sense of why did we want to change our lives, and Dick was a jobbing presenter. I've been in hospitality for decades, and we wanted to find this home that we could bring the children up, but also grow as a business. And a chateau is as good as any. I mean, it's fairy tale, and it's a lot of work, but we love it. And we people that just like to get involved in everything. So there could be stress, but we find it quite exciting.
And how has it been going on this journey together then, working together as a unit, as a partnership? Has that been all right?
You know what? That's bing right on the nose as a question there, because neither of us do compromise, and it's really important, because if you have too much compromise, you can lead to mediocrity, and so we fight the bit out. We argue all the time, but it's only because we want the best of the best for our solutions. So I think that's been probably our strongest sort of the way we work the best is the two of us always wanting the best. It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, we argue daily. I mean, and it's fine. I mean, we can't remember what we argue about 5 minutes later. But we both are true believers that we're always right, and especially me, I will go to any lengths to prove that I am correct on things, even if
And we both know that Angela isn't. So that's an interesting way to start any conversation. Yeah.
That's the best way to be, isn't it? It's best both be right all the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Now, this has been a very long journey for you both. It's been a very interesting time for you. I mean, of course, you've gathered many millions of fans throughout doing this journey. How's life changed for you?
Well, it's interesting because we set out to build a home in France and to live. The French have 2 hour lunch breaks. Did you know that? And we haven't had those yet.
No.
Every day, every day. And we haven't quite got to that stage yet because we're still working. The French have got it right, I think, in that they actually don't work to live. They don't live to work. They actually just work because they have to. And the quality of life is quite special. So we're looking forward to one day being able to have all that downtime. As it is in the minute, we're still building, we're still doing things, we've still got young children. So it all adds up quite nicely to quite a busy time.
But we've had a quite a charmed journey in the fact that we have had followers. I mean, the show French Chateau got sold in 75 countries around the world. I mean, and that is, we never set out to do that. That sort of was a fabulous lucky accident that happened from people loving our journey. But what was very interesting was that it did not get shown in France until quite recently. All excitement in America, Australia, Netherlands, obviously the UK. They were the first, the British. But we had quite a normal life in France because we were, as normal as the British couple that had purchased the chateau in the village. But we've had quite a charmed sort of like life of having the best of both worlds. Our terrain has changed a little bit since it's been shown in France. We obviously get stopped in our local supermarket now, and our the lovely ladies that run our local bakery. They love it. They feel like little celebrities.
People go there quite a lot in the program, so they love the fact that people go to them.
I had my first time in Paris this year, and I have to say that I am hooked on France all of a sudden. Other than that, I go there once a year for a bit of skiing, but I mean, to be actually engrossed within the French way of life is a different way of life. It seems very, very beautiful. For those people that are thinking about going and following your journey, replicating your journey, what would you say to them?
Do it. If that's your dream, you've got to live your dreams. You only get one pass at life. And we encourage everybody. We hear lots of excuses, but never any good reasons not to do things. So just get on with it. Go and live your life.
But I think that one of the things, and we talked about this on the show, is how big France is. I mean, you rightly said about Paris, which is very cafe culture. It's Moulin Rouge. It's absolutely beautiful. But the Parisians are kind of like what's the word I'm looking for?
They're not French.
They're not.
They're partly French.
Okay, yeah.
Not saying that. But this is why you need to understand the different elements that France holds, because also if you're looking to buy a beautiful country house, the farmhouses, which you can pick up for 10 grand, you know what I mean? If you're up for a do a rougher, you've got to be aware that you might be in the middle of nowhere. So it's kind of like what culture and what part of France do you
If you talk about skiing, by the way, the skiing side, like if you go down to the Alps or you go down to the Auvergne, it's stunning. And it's really completely different from where we are in May. And May and we are rural France. We've got more cows than people. It's a simple.
We say that in Manchester. We're like our own special country, away from London and everything like that. We're a lot more nicer than the So this is coming to us on the 9th of November at the Bridgewater Hall. We're really looking forward to this, and I have been following your journey since you first came onto our screens. I think you're absolutely crazy for doing it because, like I say, I think I would have been swinging from one of them French rafters by now. But absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very much indeed.
See you later.
Well, I could sniff the garlic from that distance, couldn't you?
Could you?
Yes, and he has a lovely baguette. Now, we're covering all sorts today, music, tours, and now some comedy. Off the back of his 007 pastiche, we're now joined by Gavin Robertson, who's here to tell us all about his new show, Is That a Whip in Your Hand?, which is coming to the Manchester Waterside on Friday the 15th of November.
And to answer the question about whether it is indeed a whip in your hand is, of course, the one and only Gavin Robertson. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm not bad, thank you. I'm just taking a break from rehearsals to chat to you, which is a very welcome break. Rehearsals are hard work.
They are hard work indeed. Now, tell us, what is it you're rehearsing? Tell us what we can expect from this show. I mean, it's following up on a very successful one to do with 007, isn't it?
Yes, it is. So I kind of got to the point where I'd done my James Bond 007 show and thought, well, that went well. I'd like to do something similar. And I went, well, there's all those fortune hunting movies, Indiana Jones, National Treasure, Romancing the Stone. It's kind of a genre. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to take all of those, throw them against the wall, mash them up and do them all in an hour. So that's kind of what the show is. So it's, cartoon-style adventuring, the usual mix of maps, clues, travel, tricky situations, minimum props, maximum effect. Lots of laughs, we hope.
It is. Now, what gets you thinking about putting on a show like this?
We've had hard times recently, haven't we? I mean, COVID was a while ago, but it's still bouncing around. There's a cost of living crisis. It's all very uncertain. Stamp duty's just gone up. So I think if people are going to go out, they're going to think about what they want to see. Music's always popular, but theatre is kind of, it's a bit iffy. So I wanted to put something in the theatre that was definitely funny, give you a good night out, play on all the cliches that you know about, maybe sort of do one or two, not impressions exactly, but the sort of flavours of those kind of movies. It's fun. I think it's comedy. You want to go out and have a laugh.
Is that what you set out to do then? You set out to put a nice... Is it entertainment or education that's key for you?
Oh, no, entertainment. I mean, education, I'm not even sure there is any. But the style is very cartoony, It's very cartoony. It's like watching a cartoon on stage. It's so the way I present the information, like I have 3 metal frames, I move them around, I create all the different environments, caves, a submarine, lots of different things. But you use your imagination. So I like to think that it's silly, it's funny, it's crazy, but it's kind of inventive all at the same time.
So how do you go about picking the thing that you're going to parody then?
That is a very good question. I have kind of got a history over the years of doing that. I had a West End show many years ago called Thunderbirds FAB, which was, Thunderbirds and Captain Scarlet, and on stage, that was a 2-man show. And Jerry Anderson, who sadly has died now, but he was a great supporter of the show. So that was the first one I did. We used to run around with Thunderbird 1 and Thunderbird 2 on our heads. And then I went, well, this kind of works. Let's do Westerns. So I made a show called Spittoon, which was like every Western you've ever seen in an hour and a bit. And I worked with Ray Harryhausen. Do you remember those old movies? Battle of Titan, Sinbad, all that stop frame animation. So we worked with Ray on a show which kind of affectionately spoofed that kind of early animation that you saw in those movies, and he was really helpful. So I kind of got a taste for taking a genre and just exploding it, which is what I'm doing with this show. It's been interesting with the title, Is That a Whip in Your Hand? I think 1 or 2 people have got a different idea about what the show might be.
So it's good to put a line like that on the press release, though, isn't it? Because it gets more and more people involved in it.
Yeah, well, you've got to appeal to people's imagination, and we all like being challenged, whether it's comedy or drama. So I think in terms of getting people out to the theatre, when you've so easily got TV, so many series, Netflix, Paramount, Disney, there's so much choice out there that getting people to choose to come and see something live is becoming more of a challenge, I think.
Yeah, it is, definitely. So, in which case then, in a nutshell, why should people come and see your show?
Well, if you like those genre of movies, Romancing the Stone, any of the Indiana Jones canon, then you will have fun recognizing the way that I spoof those things on stage, all on my own. It's a fun night out, only takes an hour. You get an interval drink. Not free, I hasten to add. That might be misleading.
Well, that would have been included in there then.
Yeah, sorry about that. You'll have to talk to the venue. But I'm hoping for one afterwards myself. So.
Well, we're looking forward to this now. It's coming to us on the 15th of November. How can people get tickets for this?
That is a very good question. You're asking the wrong person. You need to go to the website, I suppose, and look it up.
We are looking forward to this. It's one of my favourite venues as well. It's the Waterside, I believe, as well, which is always a tremendous venue to that, which is really, really exciting. Well, we are looking forward to this, and we'll make sure that everybody comes to see this. For now, though, thank you very much for your time, Gavin.
Thank you.
Doesn't that look fantastic?
Whippity-doo-dah.
Whippity-doo-dah, indeed. It looks fantastic. So that one was obviously Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And the one before that was 007, James Bond.
Oh, yes.
And the next one, I think it should be Jurassic Park.
Oh, that would be good for you.
Why? Oh, I could audition, couldn't I?
Yes,
I could audition, yes.
Yes, went to school with a few, didn't you?
Yes.
Well, now, last but not least, we're joined by Jessica Murrain, who is here to tell us about her involvement in Wonder Boy. Jessica plays Mum, yes, in this 5-star award-winning play, which follows Sonny, a 12-year-old boy with a stammer who's finding his way in a world ruled by vicious vowels. And the worst thing of all, small talk. We're no good at that, are we?
No.
Right, you met Jessica earlier.
I did. Joining us now is Jessica Murrain. Welcome to the show, Jessica. How are you?
Hi, I'm good, thanks. How are you doing? You all right?
We've been waiting for this to come to the Laureate for so long now. It feels like a length of a journey. Tell everybody about this. This is Wonder Boy. Tell us, everybody, what the story is.
Well, thanks first of all for having me. We're super excited about going to the Lowry. My first time there as well, which I'm really gassed about it. But yeah, Wonder Boy is such an incredible production. It was revived. It originally started in Bristol in 2022, and it's come back for its second sort of remount. It's a beautiful story written by Ross Willis about a young teenage boy. He's experiencing a lot of loneliness, a lot of isolation, and he has a stammer. So it's about his journey through a really difficult system. You know, I think the teenage resilience, it really shows through in this. And we're a company of 5 of us telling this story about Sonny, how he navigates not only a stammer, but a whole heap of things as a young teenage boy in a really difficult school system. And there, you know, it's so many beautiful things about the production. I can't wait to tell you more about it.
And of course, you're playing the mother in this. I mean, what challenges have you faced doing this?
Well, do you know what? Ross's writing, when I read the script, I'm telling you, Belinda, it blew my mind. It's so dark and it's so full of humour. You know, you're really on a roller coaster all the way through. I felt so compelled towards both. I've got 2 characters. I'm the only person who plays 2 characters in the show. And the whole show is embedded with creative captioning as well. So you got the words on a screen behind you, which is a bit intimidating for an actor. You can't get the lines wrong, you know. But I think I was really compelled, particularly by the character of Sonny's mum. So, you know, she lives very much in his imagination. I won't give too much away, but I had to play her for real, you know, in the sense that they've got a very deep, loving relationship, but in a way she exists in Sonny's sort of psyche and memory. And I thought that was a really big challenge for an actor. How do I create that in a real present way, even though she might live in the past? And then I play a very, I would say, bordering psychopathic head teacher. And that had its own challenges because she's so absurd and she's actually quite nasty. The first thing you see is this, you know, we all had those teachers in school, really controlling, a bit mad, wanted to dominate. But actually, the head teacher is under a huge amount of pressure, as so many teachers are in this system now. I was really interested in making her human, you know. The writing is absurd. So for me, the challenges came in, how can I really root these 2 characters in something real?
And which are you looking forward to playing more then? Which are you enjoying playing more?
You know what? I think it's taken me by surprise, but playing Miss Fish, the head teacher, has been such a laugh. She's so bound. She's like a plank of wood. She's so gnarly and controlling, but she's also absurd. And I think I never get to play the villain. You know, she's the classic comic book villain. She's absolutely horrible in places, but I think it's been such a laugh for me to go to those levels of extremes, you know, in the rehearsal room, to just absolutely let loose and just have a bit of a laugh, really.
Are you doing any more poetry? Because I've read some of your poems, and they are lovely. Are you planning on doing any more of that?
Yeah, do you know what? I'm thanks for asking about that. I'm thinking, wow, you've read it. That's absolutely amazing. I've been writing poetry for over a decade now, and I'm sort of working towards my full length collection, which centres like heartbreak, really, queer heartbreak, and looking more closely at like the LGBT community and how we might experience heartbreak. And I'm a big romantic, so hopefully the poetry collection will be a hit next year. We'll see.
Where'd you get your inspirations from then for the poetry?
Do you know what? I think it's an amalgamation of things. I have a theatre company. We're based in Bradford. We're called Theatre with Legs, and our work is really rooted in sound as well as poetry. I'm really interested in soaking up the world around me, and I think I'm not someone that can just sit at a laptop and just write a poem. You know, I write a poem from conversations, from articles, from archives, from visuals, from films. So I think I'm one of those writers that I sort of dream the poem in my head before I get inspired to put it on the page, almost like a sculptor, you know, I'm sort of carving it out before I've written it.
You're doing so many different things at the moment. You are what I class as an artist rather than just a performer. Do you have a favourite go-to section of performance that you enjoy doing?
Oh, thanks. That's such a great question. You know, I get asked this a lot, but I think what I've realised is I think actually my practice is interdisciplinary, and I feel like one thing serves the other. You know, on the one hand, I'm really interested in the visual sort of radical aspect of filmmaking and how it can how film has the imaginative capacity to change lives, but also I love the liveness of theatre making. I know it's a cliche, but there's nothing like live performance to sort of get into the blood and bones of a community. But poetry is more delicate, I think, and actually having I feel like it's a genuine honour to be able to cross the trajectory of all these art forms. But it's not easy, you know. I think sometimes I'm not easily boxed into one category, which I think is both a blessing and a curse sometimes. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, listen, we're looking forward to Wonderboy so much. 12th to the 16th here at the Lowry. It's going to be fantastic. Well, like I say, we've heard so much about it. We believe it's a story full of heart, but with a slight, you know, nice warm smile behind it as well, which is what we're really liking the show. So we are looking forward to this. For now, Jessica, thank you so much for your time today.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for having me.
Wow. That is going to be absolutely lovely, though.
Yes,
it's going to be gorgeous.
Yes.
That. It's got so much heart and so much. It's been talked about for so many months.
It has.
When we first went to the back at the start of the new year last year,
yes,
about the projects coming to Lowry, this was mentioned in there.
Oh, was it?
Far Away from Home's coming as well soon.
Yes. Oh, I'm going to see that.
So am I. Have you got tickets?
Yes.
Oh, I don't need tickets. So it's going to be very, very exciting, isn't it?
It certainly is.
Lots going on. Now,
yes.
Next week we've got a very special guest in the studio.
Oh, have we?
Oh, yes, and I'm going to say no more, and I'm going to give everybody a little teaser. On Tuesday of next week, I shall let everybody know.
Well, it reminds me, actually, because I know who it is. It reminds me of you at the end of a show. Right.
That's my tea calling me, everybody.
Is that what it is?
That's my tea calling me. Thanks for watching this week. A podcast. Got to say congratulations to Steve.
Yes.
It's been a year.
Yes. Been on it for a year.
A year.
Yeah,
Can you believe
marvellous.
it?
And we're on three viewers. That's marvellous.
Listeners,
yes. That's why it was a gag, because he has thousands.
Do you know the favourite place to listen to our podcast?
No.
Deaf Institute. Now, we have got loads for you next week, including a special trip down Mender Cobbles, everybody. Oh, yes.
Yes.
Oh, it's all exciting.
To Weatherfield.
We're off to Weatherfield.
Yes.
I was going to say Walford, but that's fine. That doesn't matter.
No, it's Weatherfield.
Is it?
Yes.
Cobble time, everybody.
Big storyline.
Big storylines and even bigger personalities, and I shall show you the back of my house as well, because I always like to say I've got my house there.
Yes, you have.
I have indeed. Part of the Cobble's me, you know.
Oh, I know you
Yes.
are. Yes. Get walked over all the time.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, thanks for watching this week's episode of Your Manchester.